Hi, this is Randy Finney with the Right Side of the Chart, and today is Friday, November 12th, 2021. It's 11:46 Eastern Time as I'm starting the video. This is video number 2 for today. Previous video I covered trade ideas in the cannabis sector. In this video I'll just do updates to some of the trade ideas in various asset classes that I've highlighted recently, mostly commodities, but we'll hit on that. We'll hit on copper. Let me add here gold and silver, just update. I'll be quick. There's really not much to update. Still looking good. Soybeans, natural gas, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and time permitting, if anything I missed, I'll squeeze that in at the end. Maybe another update on MJ, the marijuana sector ETF. All right, starting out here with the broad markets. This is an objective short entry. Nothing has changed. We've had a little snapback rally. My thoughts, they might differ from yours, but I believe we're most likely in the early stages of a downtrend with much more downside to come. Only time will prove me right or wrong, but that's my case that I've made, and I see that little gap right there, a little gap right here, and reactions there, and reactions from below, and that's 394.30. So this is it. I'm starting the video now because this is I think an objective short entry. You want to, if you believe you're in a downtrend, then you want to sell the rips, and this is one of the biggest rips we've had in a while. Not huge, but up almost 1%, 0.94 on QQQ, and again right to resistance. There it is. So no guarantee it'll work, but that's trading. You take objective entries, long or short, depending on your trading style. I'm a flexible trader. I'm just as comfortable going short as I am long. And so that's it. And I would swing us down to the first target on QQQ, which was is 382.64. And then you have your additional targets there. All right, next up, we'll just look at the futures to make sure that confirms, which it does. There's that 16,156.50. You can see nice, here, I'll zoom in for you a little bit. You can see nice little minor support right there. Once we took out that level, we tested it for a while, came down, tested it again, bounced, tested it, finally gave it up, broke it, back tested from below, dropped, hit my first target on NQ, which was 15,931.80 right there, or 75 technically. NQ trades in quarter point increments. And then look, bounce right back to that former support. Once broken, becomes resistance. So that's it. So we'll say no more. Objective short entries, nothing guaranteed. Like I said, I really like to see it stay below 16,290.50. That's, again, you take that out, it's not the end of the world. You'll still have divergence, at least if it happens anytime soon. But ideally, I'd like to see a reversal here, and that's my current preferred scenario. And just one index bouncing into resistance doesn't mean, well, there's no guarantees if they all bounce into resistance that you'll reject there, but so far also a nice run into resistance as well on ES, the S&P 500 futures. You can see here 46, about 46.78 is the resistance level. There's resistance there. Resistance once broken becomes support, 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 support once broken becomes resistance, bang, 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 failure, and another back test now of the 46.78 level. So that's it. Objective short entries here are add-ons, and again, stops depending on where your targets are. You're going for a single quick move down, minor pullback to that 45.87 target. Well, you want a tighter stop. You're going for a double, triple, or even a home run, with much more downside, then you obviously can allow for a wider stop, even a marginal new high in the indexes. And small caps, no change there. Still all the indexes, bottom line, are still solidly on a sell signal because they're well below their wedges or uptrend lines that they broke down from. And again, any kickback rally, especially of the magnitude that we had today or have right now in the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P, are certainly objective levels to add on. And RTY small caps, really same thing, minor resistance there, nice snapback rally. Add on for a swing down to the target here. First target 2341.68. Second target be the uptrend line right there, and my minimum preferred swing target. We could see more, but let's see. First things first. Let's see if these trades can pan out and even hit the first targets without getting stopped out. And if they do, I'll certainly update it. But I think we'll get a reaction there. Pretty good chance if we get down there. So active traders may want to try to game a bounce, but it all depends on what the large caps are doing at the time. If the large caps happen to have just broken support and they're in free fall, when RTY, the small caps, are coming to this level, well, they might, they'll most likely bring the small caps down. So again, I guess try not to trade any one index in a vacuum. Even if that's the only position you have, you want to look at the other major indexes and see what they're doing at the same time. Okay, and I threw out copper as a long trade idea the other day. You had a nice 60-minute divergent low right here, pull back to support right there, breakout and a back test of the trend line. And look at this. This has become a really nice level. That 445.58 resistance slash first target. We've hit it a couple times. And again, you can just see all these recent reactions and even reactions going back here. So to me, it's a pretty big level. So if we can pop that with conviction, should be a clean shot right up to that next target there at 456.48. We'll call it 456.50. Maybe more. Certainly based with these divergences here, but right now that's the next and only target I have listed there. I'll give you an update if we break out of there. I'll give you an update. And then remember, if I know a lot of you don't trade futures, so I laid out CPER and JJC, I think it is, for you ETF traders or ETN traders. CPER, the case was made for a long here on a back test of this trend line right here, and the PPO turning up at the 0 line, keeping the trend bullish if that happens. So far, a nice reversal off that level. And if you're looking at this chart, you could probably swing up to that previous reaction high. There's a couple gaps in here as well. So right now I'm just playing kind of the bounce off it. I'll let you know if it could morph into a longer term swing or trend trade, but I have my concerns. It all depends on what the stock market does, because copper is economically sensitive, or at least in normal times it is. Markets have kind of been turned upside down on their head with all the central bank intervention in recent years. No, that was our aluminum trade. So far, by the way, I didn't mean to cover it, but yeah, there it is, a nice bounce off that 53.68. I told you I gave it coin toss odds when we hit that target. That was my target that was laid out as a short here. Dropped about 20% from the where it was highlighted here, and then hit that 53.68 target, and very oversold. So it's looking like it probably wants to make at least a back test of the trend line there. And again, let's just kind of stand aside and watch this one for now. But what I wanted to update as well for you, I was trying to type it as JJC. That's the other copper ETN. So 6 to 1, half dozen to the other. Just go with whichever one has more liquidity. I'm not sure which one does. You can check. It only takes a second to look at the volume in these guys. But they both track well. You can use either one, whatever your preference is. And keep in mind, a lot of brokers out there nowadays, and most of the big ones that I know, are in bed with certain ETF companies. So if you go with one ETF company over another, a lot of times the commissions are free. Now I know a lot of brokers already moved to a free commissions thing, but brokers like Interactive Brokers, for example, they're in bed with certain ETF companies, and if you're on there, and they even have commission-free trading, or you can pay commissions if you're a more active trader. It's actually cheaper in the long run for you, and then you can use those. All right, either way, same thing. Breakout, back test. And so far, so good on copper. All right, next up, soybeans. Let's talk about soybeans. They look interesting right now. SOYB, this is the ETN, soybeans ETN. We had a nice clean-up trend line there. Big run. I've been bullish on this and all other ag commodities for quite a while. But as I said, a few months ago, they started setting up. They got very overbought and started setting up with divergences, and many of those divergences have played out, mostly for a sideways correction. I still believe we're in early stage bull market action on commodities, and nothing goes up forever. So you broke the trend line, back tested, and we've been stepping lower. So that brings us to this point today. We have this yellow downtrend line, and you actually below have some divergence forming here. So break of the trend line should be the catalyst for the next leg up, and being that they're in a bull market, it could be easily the beginning to run to new highs. But as of now, let's just look at it as a potential swing trade, minimum target up here 22.73. And if you trade futures, which you're going to get more bang for your buck on because of the leverage factor, this is ZS, the soybeans future contract. I've got the January contract loaded up here. And there's two downtrend lines that both come in together. So either way, it's telling me what that daily chart of SOYB tells me. Oh, but more important right here. So you have the two downtrend lines, which will likely trigger some buying. However, you've got a big horizontal resistance level there at about 1264 3/4 on soybean futures. So that is one to watch. Let me put it back on candlesticks. And so therefore, a breakout above that is going to be bullish, and targets for you would be, we've got a target around here, some resistance about 13.125, and maybe let's just say if you want a max target, I'd have to look at some intermediate term targets, but somewhere up there about 14.26 if we get a breakout there, and that is soybeans. Again, ZS for your futures, and SOYB for the ETN. There's your divergent, almost divergence there on the PPO. We got it here on the RSI. Nat gas, I've done many updates on this, including just recent as yesterday, pointing out an objective short entry here, right here on the back test of the neckline of this head and shoulders topping pattern. So if you missed the breakdown, or you missed the short on the right shoulder and we had divergent high, or even off this divergent high here, you had yet another opportunity there on the snapback rally to back test the neckline, and nothing's changed on that. I still have, I think targets are laid out here on the 6-month chart. Yeah, that's right. 4.435, or we'll call it 4.44, and then about $4 a little north of that. And again, that's the lowest. My max target down there is the measured target right here, the widest part of the pattern from the head down to the neckline. You add that to where the pattern broke down, and it comes in right around my $4 target on nat gas. And just the other day, somebody asked me in the comments under one of the videos for targets on KOLD, because I mentioned that as that's the -2 times or 200% short ETN for natural gas. And so I laid out some targets. First one would be the trend line. Second one is this T2 zone from about 1150 up to about 12, and then T3 at about 15.18. That's really all I'd be looking at right now. We could certainly see more, but again, these are some near-term targets for you on KOLD. And what I had said in that reply, and I posted the chart, you can go dig that up. Again, it was earlier this week. Is this is an ETN, and it's a leveraged ETN, and it's a leveraged ETN that tracks one of the most volatile commodities out there, natural gas. And what that all equates to or means is that over time you're going to have decay in this ETF because of the volatility, because of combination between the 200% leverage it's using and the volatility of natural gas, as well as the fact it's an ETN that's rolling futures. You know, you have your stock indexes. The QQQ does a great job, and SPY do a great job of tracking the indexes. You can even use the leverage ETFs on the indexes, and there's very minimal decay, but you're going to have decay on price decay on an ETN, a leverage ETN that tracks a volatile commodity like natural gas. So it's basing right now, and the point I was trying to make is these targets they're not hard targets. You really want to align. Let's say you're long KOLD and you're coming up here to that second target zone, so you're targeting the bottom of it at 1150. You know, take a look at the natural gas futures chart. If that's coming up on support, and let's say it hits, natural gas hits solid support on the futures before you're at 1150, you may want to revise your sell order and book profits maybe down to 1130, 1125, or even extend it out if natural gas has not yet hit, natural gas futures haven't hit the target. So, all right, just important consideration when trading these ETNs. Next up is Bitcoin. One of my favorites right now. I'm really liking this. Looking quite toppy to me. Bitcoin futures here, BRR. You also have a micro or mini contract called MBT. It'll trade off the same price levels, but you just have a smaller leverage factor. That's MBT, and that's the micro Bitcoin futures. So there was our divergent high right there. Then there's our sell signal today. I highlighted this one, I think, was it yesterday? 64,379 support has been taken out, as well as a trend line. That should open the door for the minimum, the first target. Right now, I'll just tell you, I favor at least a move down here to that 58,315. So I think this one will play out something like this, and quite possibly down there to that 54,745 target. So it means you still have, well, at least to my minimum target there, not first, but minimum preferred target, about 8% drop, and then about almost a 14% drop to that third target there. So that's Bitcoin, and I'll get to, well, let me do that now since we're on Bitcoin. GBTC. If you're an ETF trader, ETN trader, this is actually neither. I think it's sort of a hybrid, if you will. Boom, reaction, two major tops, and so far a third rejection off that level. And just like back then, we had negative divergence. We ran into that level, 55, about 55.66. So far, so good. Nothing big. We're up 2.5% today. But I'm still favoring a move down here. I'd have to give you different targets here, but let's just say I can start moving these lines. Well, we still have 48, 20, 32 as support, but there's also support here at 46. I don't want to busy up the chart too much, but these are old levels I've been trading from before, so I'm going to leave them for now. And then you can see you have some reaction lows there, about 46.27. And then this is probably will come back down to 41.53. So that's about another 20%. And I mentioned Ethereum too, preferring ETHE for you ETF type traders, or ETPs we'll call them, exchange traded products. And there's our negative divergence rising wedge, and we have a pretty big level just below it, about 43.21 right there, that needs to be taken out. And we have a sell signal on a break of the trend line, and the next sell signal will come on a break of 43.21. Negative divergence tells me it's probably going to come. That will also be a failure of a breakout of that previous high, so that would be quite bearish and take us down here. I mean, there's a minor support right there, but I'm still favoring a move to at least 35.36, and again, pending a breakdown of 43.21. And here's a 60-minute chart of Ethereum. The actual crypto itself, not the futures, or not, I don't even know if they have futures on these yet. But there's a nice support around 38.95, and the best I can draw the trend line is this one right here off the lows back from September 21st. But I want to give you one more level right now. We need to crack this. I think that'll do the trick. A break of 4,400 should take us down there. A little hiccup along the way, maybe right around here, but I think we'll ultimately go down to that 38.95-ish level there. Call it 3900 if you want to round off. And so that's it. So really close. And again, ETHE right there. There's the uptrend line. There's support below. Same thing. It just aligns with that chart I just showed you, the 60-minute chart. And so that one has a sell signal now, but pending an even better sell signal and a break of that horizontal support level below on ETHE, as well as the Ethereum crypto I just showed you. MJ already did an update on the cannabis stocks in a separate video, so no need to really spend any more time. Just again, need to pop these recent highs right here, and we're close but not there yet. So really, once we clear 15 or so, especially today's high, it should be smooth sailing for the cannabis stocks. So if you're building positions, Start with fractional partial positions now and add to that. And something I didn't mention in the video, and I mentioned this all the time in the past, but I forgot to. The reason I go over so many stocks is not just to show you the outlook for the sector as a whole, but also individual trade ideas. Now, if you want to keep it simple, you buy the ETF. But if you want to outperform the sector, you go with the most bullish charts that I went through in the video, or the ones that you find. And what I like to do is build a shotgun approach. So I'll have a basket of various cannabis stocks, like in the video, half dozen, sometimes more. And the bigger names they are, the large, the ones in the beginning of the video that are better capitalized, less volatility and risk, will have a larger position. Those little speculative, low-priced, less active traded names with a higher profit potential, those will be your smaller positions. So that is, the portion, whatever portion of my portfolio that I designate to trading the cannabis sector, that's cannabis, and then that's what it looks like within there, just different size positions, each with their own, get them, set them, forget them, and how to manage a half dozen or more, and that's just in one sector, not to mention all the other positions, gold, commodities, everything else is my favorite thing, and I've talked in this many times in the past, are called OCO orders. One cancels to the other. Sometimes it's OCA. Instead, one cancels another, same difference. And what that does, it's pretty simple stuff. For example, if you were going to trade MJ, you buy it here. Let's say you buy it on a breakout above, today's highs or above 15. You turn around. Let's say you're targeting $17, or you set that's your target. So then you calculate what your stop will be based on that. And let's say it's down here somewhere. Then you put two orders in. You put a sell limit order at just under $16.95, good to cancel, and then you also put a good to cancel stop loss order at your stop price, but you have to designate that as an OCA or OCO order at your broker. And what they do is, as soon as the first of the two is hit, so if you hit your profit target, it's automatically going to cancel that stop loss order for you. And this is great not just for the active trader like myself, but it's absolutely essential for the part-time or armchair investor or trader. You work another job, or you're retired, you don't work, you just don't want to sit in front of a computer 9 hours a day like I do. So then you take these, and other than that, not having to sit there and watch all day, it gives you that discipline that a lot of people lack, where you're either going to be stopped out, so you're not going to have your losses build, or you're going to hit your price target. And then you don't second guess every time you go back and forth here in between. All right, I'll just wrap it up here with AKU. Just a quick update. I threw that one out to you yesterday on a breakout above 183. Just wanted to say the breakout held. It wasn't, we closed above the trend line, but not by a large amount. But it's nice to see that there's some follow through today. And what we'll need to do, of course, is take out yesterday's high. That was 193. We're at 191 right now, and that should open the door for a move up there to that 210 first target right there on AKU. Okay, let's wrap it up here. Get the video out to you guys, and if I see anything else today, I'll get it out to you. And if not, have a great weekend. This has been Randy Finney with Right Side of the Chart.